So good morning. Today we will be starting the second part of this lecture, that is how to calculate the bending stresses in the beam. So we'll learn what is a pure bending. Second thing is we'll learn what is pure bending. Pure bending. Derivation of bending formula. Bending formula and calculation of bending stresses. Calculation of bending stresses. Bending stresses. So first of all, when a external load is acting on the beam, suppose this is a beam. So when external load is acting on this beam in the form of load or in the form of the bending moment, so shear force and bending moments are set up in all the sections of beam. So shear force SF and bending moment, they are set up in the beam. So because of that, the deformation takes place. So this leads to deformation. Deformation. Okay. So because of this deformation, the stresses are set up. Stresses are set up. And these stresses are known as the bending stresses. These stresses are known as the bending stresses. Okay. So these stresses are denoted by sigma B, and the unit is megapascal or pascal. So they can be either tensile, or they'll be compressive. So they'll be tensile in nature or they'll be compressive. So if you see here, if this beam is bent like this because of the load, then this phenomena is a positive sense of bending. So this is known as a sagging. This we have learned. So for this, the moment will be in this direction. So these layers, upper layer, and this is the lower layer. So this section, suppose this is a rectangular section, it will be having a neutral layer or the neutral axis, which we have learnt in the previous class, that how to determine this centroid. So this Na is the neutral axis. So at the neutral axis there will be no stress, and these upper layers, so this will be under compression. This will be under compression. And these layers will be under tension. So these layers will be under tension. So here the tensile stress will be developed, and here the compressive stress will be developed. Okay, so is that clear? Now next is what is pure bending. So pure bending. So in case of the pure bending, means when there is only bending, no other deformation. Suppose this is a beam and it is under the load, say W here and W here. Okay, so it is supported, say here, it is supported, say here. So this portion, this let me name it as A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. So if I draw the shear force and bending moment diagram, so the shear force diagram here it will be up to here. So this will be positive, and from here to here it will be negative. So this is negative shear force, this is positive shear force. So this is equal to W. This is equal to W. So SFD. Now, if I draw the bending moment diagram, this is A, this is B. So if I draw the bending moment diagram from B to C, it will be straight, and you can join this, you can join this. So this is positive bending moment, and this is B and D. So if it is there is no shear, pure bending is a case where only bending is there. Bending occurs. That means no shear. So that situation we will call as the pure bending case. Now we will derive the bending formula. So derivation of bending equation or bending formula. So this is known as a bending equation, or we also call it somewhere bending formula. Bending formula, or there is a name which is known as flexural formula. The flexure means bending. Flexure, the meaning of this word flexure is bending. So what is this formula? Let us first see formula and then we will derive this. So this equation is, it says that sigma B upon Y is equal to M upon I is equal to E upon R. So this equation is known as the flexural formula or the bending equation, where sigma B is equal to the bending stress which is set up in the beam because of the load. Bending stress. Y is the distance from neutral axis, that is NA, to the fiber where stress is calculated. Stress is calculated. Right? Now M is a bending moment. M is a bending moment. I is the moment of inertia of that section. So moment of inertia of section. E is modulus of rigidity, modulus of elasticity, modulus of elasticity. And R is the radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. So bending stress is calculated in Pascal. This is calculated in meter. Bending moment is calculated in Newton meter. Okay. Moment of inertia is calculated in meter 4. Modulus of elasticity is in Newton per meter square or Pascal. And radius is again in meter. Okay. So this is a bending formula, bending equation. So before derivation, so as we know in any theory, we assume some assumption. So let us see what are the assumptions. So assumptions of bending theory. So it is based on Euler theory. Based on Euler theory. Okay. So the first assumption is material is homogeneous. Material is homogeneous, comma isotropic, homogeneous, just a minute. Material is homogeneous, isotropic, and having same value same value of E in tension and compression. So that means our material is homogeneous. Homogeneous means it is of the same composition throughout. The composition everywhere is same. Second is isotropic. That means all the properties of the material are same at the all the cross section and having the same value of modulus of velocity in tension and compression. So this is the first assumption. The second assumption is beam is initially straight. Beam is initially straight. Beam is initially straight. Beam is initially straight and all the longitudinal fibers bend into circular arc with a common radius of curvature. Beam is initially straight and the longitudinal fibers into the circular arc with a common radius of curvature. Okay. Number 3, the transverse section. The transverse section which were plane before bending, remains plane after bending. So the transverse section which were plane before bending remains plane after bending. So this is a third assumption. Then fourth assumption is the radius of curvature. Radius of curvature is large as compared to the dimension of the beam. Radius of curvature R is large as compared to the dimension of beam, and material of beam obeys Hooke's law. Okay? Hooke's law says that stress is proportional to strain within elastic limit. And the last assumption is that each layer is free to expand, or contract independently. Independently. Okay. So these are the five assumptions, six assumptions. So let us discuss them one by one so that the things are clear to you. Okay. Let us discuss one by one so that the things are clear to you. Okay. So material is homogeneous, as I told. Homogeneous means suppose this we take any body. So if we calculate the composition here or here or here, so it is same. So then a material is homogeneous. Okay? And then uh, homogeneous and having the same value of E. Isotropic means the elastic properties here is also same, here is also same, here is also same, here is also same. So it is isotropic and having the same value of E in tension and compression. So that means the modulus of elasticity same in tension and compression. Second is beam is initially straight. So what does it mean? Suppose this is a beam. So it is having some undulation. It is not straight. But a straight beam will look like this. Although it is difficult for me to draw. So this is a straight beam. This beam is not straight. Okay. So beam is initially straight and the longitudinal fiber bend into circular arc. So these are the fibers. So they bend into the circular arc like this. Okay. With a common radius of curvature. So it will be having some radius of curvature like this. Okay. So this is the radius of curvature. The transverse section which were plane before bending remains plane after bending. Suppose this is a beam and it is having a shape like this. It is of circular shape, rectangular shape. So suppose I take a plane here. I cut the beam from here. So the transfer section, so this section of the beam here, so this section of the beam which were plane before bending remains bending. So अगर इसको हम bend कर देते हैं, if we bend like this, so this section will again remains plane. It will not bend. Okay. So this is the third assumption. Fourth is radius of curvature is very large. So this value of R is very large as compared to this dimension. So this is a rectangular beam. So the large dimension will be the depth h. So it should be much greater than h. Okay. Second is the material of the beam obeys Hooke's law. So that means the strain is proportional to stress is proportional to strain within elastic limit. So this is the Hooke's law, and each layer is free to expand or contract independently. So this beam, it is made up of number of layers like this. So one layer above each other. So each layer can uh, expand or contract independently. So these are the assumptions. So let us now prove the bending equation. So you know now this is the bending equation. So for proving this, let us consider a beam. Let me draw a very neat and clean figure. Let me see if I can draw. So this is a beam. This is a beam. Okay. So this beam is having a neutral axis. So neutral axis is that axis which does not go under any deformation. So this is neutral axis. NA. So NA is neutral axis. neutral axis. So no deformation on neutral axis. That means the stress is zero. So this is the neutral axis. Okay. Right. So let me consider a layer which is shown by this dotted line. And this is at a distance y from the neutral axis. So this y is the distance which we have taken. So if I draw a tangent to this place, and if I draw a tangent on this surface, so they will meet at a common point, which is O. So O is our center of curvature. Center of curvature. Right? So the distance of the center of curvature to the neutral axis is R. So R is radius of curvature. Radius of So if a beam is having very large radius of curvature, the curvature will be smaller. ठीक है, तो ये उल्टा हो जाएगा. So this is the curvature. ये जो curve है, this is curvature and this is radius curvature. If it is large, then this curvature will be very small. ठीक है, and if it is less, the curvature will be more. तो वो बीम ज़्यादा मुड़ जाएगी like this. इसका जो रेडियस ऑफ कर्वेचर होगा वो छोटा होगा. ठीक है, सो R is inversely proportional to curvature. So for the straight beam, if a beam is straight, a beam is like this. So what will be the radius of curvature for this? R is infinity. Because if you draw the tangent here and tangent here, they will not meet. So that means R will be infinity. So when R is infinity, that means it is very large. So curvature is zero. That means no bending. समझ में आया? Okay. Now this angle is theta. Classes. This angle is theta. Okay. So if you apply the bending moment, right? So let me take this point is A and this point is B. Right? So this figure is clear to you. So we consider a length of the beam, which is action of. So we have considered a beam which is at subjected to a bending moment. M is the bending moment. So because of this bending moment, this beam takes this shape and it subtends an angle theta. So this angle is theta and R is the radius of curvature. So we consider a layer AB which is located at a distance y from the neutral axis. Okay. So now let sigma b or sigma, these are the stresses generated. Stresses generated. So we calculate the strain that is in layer AB. So you see here, this AB has extended. Okay. So we consider the strain that is epsilon in AB. So this will be equal to the stress divided by E. So stress we have taken, say, sigma B divided by E. Right? Now this stress, this strain, otherwise AB is the just a minute. So this we have taken a layer AB, so which by this is a neutral layer. So this has been so this is AB. Initially this is AB. So when you apply the bending moment, so it has changed to A dash B dash. So the change in length will be A dash B dash minus AB upon the original length, that is AB. Okay? So this AB, A dash B dash is, so R plus Y. So this is R plus Y. So you have taken this R here. So it is arc into radius. So R plus Y into theta. So arc into radius is equal to angle, and this will be equal to R into theta. Okay, divided by the original R into theta. So if you solve it, so it will be R theta plus Y theta minus R theta divided by R theta. So ये cancel हो जाएगा. So this will be equal to Y theta upon R theta, and this will be Y upon R. So that means the sigma B upon E will be equal to Y upon R. So one part of the equation is proved. Okay? So this is that means the sigma B is equal to sigma B is equal to E into Y upon R. So that means the bending stress is directly proportional to Y. जितना हम न्यूट्रल एक्सिस से दूर चलते चले जाएंगे, the bending stress will go on increasing. Okay, so this is the first part. So to prove the second part, let us assume that this beam is made up of a rectangular cross section, and this is the neutral axis, right? And we consider a layer, this is a layer which is having a area as delta A, okay, and it is located at a distance y from here, okay. So delta A is the area, of layer, okay. So now we know, we have just proved sigma B is equal to E upon R into Y. E upon R into Y. Sigma B is this. So now this is a stress. So force on this strip. So force on this layer. So so stress is equal to force upon area. So force will be equal to stress into area, right? So you can write here the stress is how much? Sigma E upon R into Y into delta A, right? So this is the sigma B. So moment, इस फोर्स का मोमेंट क्या होगा? It is force into perpendicular distance. So force into perpendicular distance. So force is how much? It is E into R by delta A and into Y. So this will be the perpendicular distance. So this is equal to E upon R Y square delta A. So total moment. So this is a total moment. Total moment is equal to E upon R, and this will be integral of y square dA, and y square dA is nothing but it is I. So E, ये बताया था ना, E upon R into I. Now this moment should be equal to the moment of resistance, moment of, which is offered by the internal resistance. जो material होगा, it will try to resist the deformation. So resisting the deformation. Resisting the deformation. So that means the M is equal to E upon R into I. So this is equal to M upon I is equal to E upon R. So this is the second part of equation. So E upon R is M upon I, and here you have proved E upon R is equal to sigma B upon Y. So you can write here also you can write from here sigma B upon Y is equal to E on. So from this relation and the relation you have proved here, E upon R, so we can write the sigma B upon Y is equal to M upon I is equal to E upon. So this is the bending equation. So we write from here as sigma B is equal to M upon I into Y. So this is a very important equation. So that means the bending stress is directly proportional to Y. So neutral axis से जितना दूर चलते चले जाएंगे, so our suppose this was our section, so how the bending stress will look like. So this is the neutral axis. So at the neutral axis, so you see this upper layer has gone compression, this layer has gone tension. So you have to draw the shear stress distribution, sorry, the bending stress distribution. So compression, here it will be compression and here it will be tension. So it is on the positive side. So because it is straight, so that's why it is linear. So this is a stress distribution. So this is equal to sigma tensile and this is equal to sigma compressive. So we can calculate any at any distance the stress. Suppose we want to calculate here, so we will put y as this. Suppose we want to calculate here, so we will put y as this. Okay. So this is the stress distribution, bending stress distribution. Bending stress distribution. Okay. Bending stress distribution. So you see it is inversely proportional to I, directly proportional to M. Okay. Now from here we can prove one important thing. That is sigma, if you write the equation like this, sigma B is equal to M upon I upon Y. You can write it like this. So this I upon Y is known as Z and this is known as the section modulus. Section modulus. It is very important parameter. So you can write here as sigma B is equal to M upon Z or M is equal to sigma B into Z. So where MB into Z. So M is the moment of resistance and Z is the section modulus. So it will depend whether we will take a circular beam or a rectangular beam. That will be decided by the section modulus. Okay? So the maximum इसके लिए जितना सेक्शन मॉडुलस ज़्यादा होगा उसका मोमेंट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस उतना ही ज़्यादा होगा, ठीक है। सो दिस सेक्शन मॉडुलस इट रिप्रेजेंट्स द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ बीम, it represents the strength of beam, and I will depend upon, if you take the rectangular section you will take I for rectangular section, if you take the circular section you will take the I for the circular section. So this way we can calculate the bending moment and we can calculate the bending stresses. Now suppose you want to calculate the section modulus for different sections. So, section modulus for different, ठीक है। Say a rectangular section, first we take the rectangular section. So for the rectangular section, say this is a rectangular section with us, in which B is the width and H is the depth of the beam. So as I told on the other day, so this is H by 2 and this is a neutral axis. So I for this will be equal to BHQ upon 12. So the section modulus Z is equal to I upon Y max. So I upon Y max. Okay. So I is BHQ upon 12 and Y max is how much? H upon 2. So if you calculate this, it will be BH square upon 6. Okay. So this is how you calculate the section modulus for the rectangular section. Okay. Suppose there is a hollow section. So the hollow section. There is a hollow section. So how a hollow section will look like? So this is a box with us, and we take out another box from here. So this becomes the hollow section. This becomes a hollow section. Okay. So if this width is B and if this depth is D and this small width is B and this depth is small d. So how to calculate the section modulus? So I will be equal to BD cube upon 12, that means BD cube upon 12 minus BD cube upon 12. Okay. So Y max कितना हो जाएगा इसमें? Y max will be equal to capital D upon 2. So therefore Z will be equal to I upon Y max. So it is nothing but So you can write here BDQ minus BDQ divided by 12 and D by Q. So this will become D by 6. So it will be 6. So this is Z. So this is how you calculate. So similarly for the circular section, you can calculate and for the hollow section. So you can calculate for circular section. So circular section is like this, and if D is the diameter, then Y max here will be equal to D by 2, and I you know it is pi D4 upon 64. Okay. So therefore Z is equal to pi D4 upon 64 into D by 2. So it is pi D cube upon 32. So this way you can calculate the I for the different section. So more or less the theory part, whatever there was in your course in this chapter, we have finished. So we will be doing the numerical in the next class. So thank you very much for a patient hearing, okay, and listening the lecture carefully. Thank you very much.
सर नोट शेयर कर दीजिएगा जो अभी सर किए थे।